Ms. Peters, one of President Biden's first acts after taking office was to issue Executive Order 14006, mandating that contracts with privately owned detention facilities not be renewed. The order is intended, quote, to decrease incarceration levels by reducing profit-based incentives to incarcerate by phasing out the federal government's reliance on privately operated criminal detention facilities. This order has created many unintended consequences, including the closing of the Willacy County Regional Detention Facility in Raymondville, Texas. The decision has had tremendous negative consequences with little to no obvious upside, forcing inmates to travel hundreds of miles round trip for court appearances, impacting the accessibility of legal counsel, and making family visits significantly more difficult. It has also caused administration issues for the prison system and harmed the local economy by eliminating these jobs. Literally every stakeholder that has a role to play in these cases is opposed to this Biden policy. That includes the defense bar, the federal public defender, the U.S. attorney, even the federal bench. All have publicly asked for this policy to be rescinded. Unfortunately, as with the open borders under Joe Biden, the Biden administration doesn't give a damn about how their woke policies actually affect South Texas or the lives of regular people. Ms. Peters, how has Executive Order 14006 impacted the Bureau of Prisons' ability to house inmates, and has it been a negative impact or a positive impact?
Thank you, Senator. So we were able to come into compliance with the executive order the end of last November and bring in those individuals from those facilities that were closed, and we were able to safely absorb them into our current population.
Okay, that you didn't answer my question. How has it impacted the BOP, and has it been positive or negative?
Senator, I don't know that I can put it in a positive or negative category. What I can say
is the defense bar and the U.S. attorney and the federal bench, are they all wrong?
I'm not familiar with their opinions and their reasons for opposing.
Okay, unfortunately, you're illustrating that the Biden administration doesn't care about South Texas if you don't even know the impact it's having on all the stakeholders. All right, let's shift to the topic Senator Lee was just asking you about, because I have to say I found your answers to him thoroughly unacceptable. The 2022 Transgender Offender Manual, issued by the Bureau of Prisons through your predecessors, reverted back to the Obama administration's initial designation and housing programming assignments. Notably, biological sex at birth is no longer the controlling determinant. Right now today, how many biological males are housed in female prisons under BOP?
Senator, I don't have those numbers in front of me today.
Why don't you?
We could look at them and get back to you.
Why don't you?
I just don't have them top of
Did you know you were going to be asked that today?
No, Senator.
Oh, you didn't? Have you been asked that before?
On the record, Senator?
Yes.
I don't recall.
You were asked a year ago in writing, and you failed to answer it in writing. You knew damn well you're going to be asked it today, but you don't want to answer it. Senator Lee asked, why don't you report the numbers? You don't report the numbers because you don't want people to know the numbers. So the fact that you sit there and say, I don't know, he said 1,300. Is that number in the ballpark?
1,300 as it relates to which category, Senator?
Biological males housed in female prisons.
No, that would be a much larger number.
Which is a larger number?
So the number of individuals who even identify as transgender at the Federal Bureau of Prisons is around 1,700. And the number of individuals that are housed in institutions not conforming with their biological sex are very low.
Very low. Are we talking 100? Are we talking 10?
We will look at the numbers. We're talking less than 10.
So your testimony here, I just want to understand, your testimony here today is there are fewer than 10 biological males, human beings that were born male, who are housed in female prisons. Is that your testimony?
That is my understanding, and I will confirm that and get back to you.
Okay. Of the 1,700 prisoners you referenced, how many of them are convicted sex offenders?
I do not know the answer to that, Senator.
Are you aware that Great Britain's numbers, according to a January 2022 report, is the proportion of male-born transgender offenders who are sex offenders in the UK prison system is roughly 60%. significantly higher than the 18% of the general population? Are those numbers consistent with the American numbers?
I'm not familiar with Great Britain's numbers.
So let me ask you this. How many female inmates have been sexually assaulted by biological males who BOP has housed in female prisons?
Senator, I would have to look into that and get back to you.
Do you have an obligation to protect those female prisoners?
Absolutely.
And so have you examined how many women have been sexually assaulted by biological males that BOP has placed in the prison with those women?
I have not, Senator, but I will tell you that safety and security and the placement of every individual in our custody is top of mind and the most important.
So if it's top of mind, why haven't you examined how many have been sexually assaulted? This is an obvious question. If you put a man with male genitals, with a male body in a female prison who's a convicted sex offender, it's not rocket science that there's a real risk those women are going to be victims of sexual assault. How is it possible that you haven't even asked the question, how many women are getting sexually assaulted because of the policies of the Biden administration?
Senator, I assure you that safety and security of these individuals are top of mind. And if
So you haven't asked the question?
If there was misconduct, those individuals would be held accountable.
Thank you, Senator Cruz.
During a recent Senate hearing, Senator Ted Cruz sharply questioned Bureau of Prisons Director Colette Peters over controversial prison policies under Joe Biden's administration. Senator Cruz began by criticizing Executive Order 14006, which directed the federal government to phase out contracts with privately operated detention facilities. He argued the policy has led to unintended consequences, including closure of facilities like the Willacy County Regional Detention Center in Texas, longer travel distances for inmates attending court, reduced access to legal counsel and family visits, job losses impacting local economies. Cruz claimed that multiple stakeholders, including defense attorneys, federal prosecutors, and judges, oppose the policy. When asked whether the order had a positive or negative impact, Peters responded that the Bureau of Prisons had successfully absorbed inmates into other facilities, but said she could not categorize the overall impact as positive or negative. Cruz pressed further, criticizing what he described as a lack of awareness of the policy's real-world effects. The hearing intensified when Cruz shifted to the Bureau of Prisons' 2022 Transgender Offender Manual, which allows inmate housing decisions to consider gender identity rather than biological sex alone. Cruz asked how many biological males are housed in female prisons. Peters said she did not have the exact number but estimated. About 1,700 inmates identify as transgender in federal prisons. Fewer than 10 inmates are housed in facilities not matching their biological sex. Cruz challenged her responses, noting she had previously been asked for these figures but had not provided them. The senator also raised concerns about safety risks for female inmates, asking, how many transgender inmates are convicted sex offenders? Whether female prisoners had been assaulted by inmates placed in women's facilities. Peters said she did not have those figures but emphasized that inmate safety is the Bureau's top priority. Cruz questioned how safety could be assured without tracking such data, warning that the policy could expose female inmates to potential harm. The exchange highlights ongoing political and legal debates over the federal government's move away from private prisons. Policies governing transgender inmates. Balancing inmate rights with prison safety concerns. With limited data provided during the hearing, several of these issues remain unresolved and highly contested.